my God, we're back. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
I'm afraid to unmute myself because you'll find it. Or maybe it'll just be quiet and you won't hear it at all, and it'll be one of those lovely things.
I don't think we should be that lucky. That is not how we
never
roll.
mind.
See, right there. Yep.
So there may be times where I'm not saying a word, and it's not intentional that I am quiet because I don't like to be quiet. Anyway, I have a little bit of beeping, but for those that don't know, or for those that have waited long enough, welcome to Let's Have a Fefe. This is season 12, and this is the season 12 premiere of Let's Have a Fefe. We've been doing this for more than a decade. I can't believe
Crazy.
it.
Crazy.
And it took us absolutely this long to do absolutely nothing and be back to this. For anybody that was expecting a new intro, I stayed up late to make an intro, and then as I exported it, it said some like weird error, and then when I opened the file again, it was gone. And so I was like, this is great.
I would expect nothing less though, because that's how we roll. I mean, hey, look, we haven't. It's taken us a while to get back, so of course things are going to go completely wrong. The graphics didn't work. You have a fucking smoke alarm that refuses to shut the fuck up. Scotty, I'm gonna need you to get in there with a ladder, and I need you to fix the battery or take the damn thing down or shoot it or do something, because
you're assuming that we have a ladder.
You know what? Stack some chairs. I don't care. Stand on a desk. I don't lift up a child. I don't know. Oh Lord.
Well, my beeping ass is over here. And I am Felicia Fefe Minor. Y'all have asked a long time, where are we? But we'll get to that in a second. And over here in a clown attire, I guess we're all just clowns when you get down to it, is Freddy Prinze Charming.
Accurate. Although I love the fact that my collar is actually a baby's tutu that we found at Savers during Halloween. But I saw it and I was like, oh my God, that would make a perfect like trans clown because it's white, pink, and blue. Like,
and it fits around your neck.
Mm-hmm. Because apparently my neck is the size of a baby's waist.
You said it. I was thinking it. It's good. It's good. It's good.
It's fine. I don't know if that makes my neck skinny or the baby fat, but it's fine.
I'd rather not say. Anyhow. Well, we'd like to thank everyone for supporting us, especially those that support us on patreon.com. You can support us on patreon.com/Let's Have a Fefe. We've been putting content there. Mm-hmm. So if you are a subscriber, you need to go check out some of the content that is up there, because we've been posting.
Mm-hmm.
We start and stop for a little bit, but we've been posting.
So. We get stuff up there as we can, and sometimes shit happens, but we try to get like behind the scenes stuff and things. There's stuff. There's definitely stuff.
And we'd like to thank our Patreon supporters: Brandon, Chris, and Michelle, D, Drake Jensen, Casey Starr, Carrie and Corey, Kim, Joan, Leanne, Nicole, and Shannon. There was one more.
There's more. Bill was on there for a while.
Yeah. Okay, Bill, we didn't forget you. But
I feel like there's somebody. I feel like somebody's missing too. I don't know if Chris has actually given Michelle all the Patreon info. Last I heard, he hadn't given it to her, so Michelle couldn't even get on the Patreon.
Wow.
I know. If you share a Patreon,
With your
account
significant
with your
other.
partner, make sure that you share that information, especially if it's coming out of a joint account. If it's not coming out of a joint account, then I don't give a fuck. But if it is coming out of a joint account, then make sure you share the information with your partner so that they can reap the benefits as well.
What if it's sharing is caring, I guess. Speaking of sharing, we would like to thank Marissa Sanchez of Wigs of a Kind for sharing. Well, Freddie's not wearing a wig.
I am not currently wearing a wig, no. But I did for the photo shoot.
Yes, you did. Um,
Oh, look, Scotty's watching. Scotty, fix the smoke detector.
he can't. It's like way up there. Vaulted ceilings are a blessing and a curse. Anyhow, you too can support us and help me get a ladder to take down the smoke detector.
that's our next expense is a fucking ladder so that Felicia can fix the fucking smoke alarm.
Mm-hmm. And then at paypal.me/let's have a Fefe. If not, Freddie may come here himself and replace it.
I have a ladder. In fact, I think we have 2 of them.
Is it
I
like
need to show the fuck up.
One of those tall ones?
I
Not
mean,
a
it's
6
pretty
foot. It has to be
tall.
taller than 6 foot.
It's pretty tall. I don't know. I haven't measured it lately. I don't often need a ladder
I've
that
heard that
high.
before. Yikes. You can also get show alerts by texting LHAF to 602-730-7379. And I promise not to get you confused and send nudes by accident, but I might.
Felicia's in charge of that. I have no control, therefore I cannot vouch for anything that she sends you.
And sometimes legally that's safe for you.
Yeah. It's called plausible deniability.
And if you're on Facebook, you can also support us by giving us stars. I think it's somewhere down in the near the comment thing.
It's
I
by
don't
the
know.
comment thing. There's a little star button. You can hit the star button.
If you hit the stars, Facebook gets a little bit of money. We get a little bit of money. And
I don't see how Facebook should be making any money off of me, but that's fine.
Last year we made like maybe 10,000 coins, I think, which I think is $10.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Big money here. Big money.
So what have you been doing like this entire time? Because we've been gone since July.
Has it been that long?
It's been a hot minute. We tried to come back earlier, but
we tried to come back in
October. Something. And we always tried to do like a photo shoot. The timing for that wasn't working. There was just a lot of shit that wasn't working for us to come back earlier. But it is what it is. So yeah. So what have you been doing? What's been going on?
So I think that life been lifing and stuff. And so we tried to come back in July and then it just was not happening. And then life just got busy, I felt like took over.
It's like once the holidays hit, it gets hard to like juggle all that shit because it's just
I work at a school, and then so like we started earlier this year, and so it was like July was like the weird thing where like July is usually like the time like we start getting ready to dive in, and then like I don't have to fight the work schedule versus the Fefe schedule kind of thing, and so then it was out of control. And then in October we couldn't get the photo shoot scheduled with who I thought I wanted to get because that person wasn't responding. No name dropping here, but
stop fucking my god, what is it with people like professional people that ghost other professional people? That seems to be a trend that is happening more and more that I've seen specifically here in Phoenix, and I don't fucking get it. But you know what, knock it the fuck off, y'all. Like seriously.
even saw this person in public, and Freddie was with me, and I was like, we need to schedule a time, and then never heard anything. So
Nothing.
moving on. Then the holidays come in and swept us up. We did get together for Thanksgiving
Hmm.
ish. Unsubscribed. Oh my god. Anyway, and then, I think both of us being parents and on top of being a bonus parent, is it's like hard to juggle, especially when it falls out of routine. Because I was like, it would come around to like Wednesday, and I would be like, oh, I'm gonna do like, show intro. um, and then it would get too busy, or like by the time everybody goes to bed, you're like this exhausted, and you're
we
like,
we tried we tried pretty hard to kind of keep, because Wednesdays and Thursdays is always a little hectic here, because those are the days that like we always get the kids back from their dads on Wednesdays, so it's
mhm.
always like so we tried to keep Wednesdays kind of the same, because I knew eventually we were going to be doing this, like getting back to the Fefe. So if we went too far off of that, it was going to be a bitch to try and steer it back on track. So
Well,
like
I'll tell you, I
we
steered
stayed
off.
with like spaghetti Wednesdays and shit. The hardest thing was not having a fucking car for 2 months. That was a pain
Ooh.
in the ass. That was
Ooh.
annoying.
But all in all, during that time, little bit has turned one and is walking and still as happy as can be. Um, and you don't want them to grow up, but they grow up. And speaking of growing up, you have one that grew up, like,
Oh my
sprouted up.
god, I know. One of ours turned 18 on Christmas Day, if you can believe that shit. So, but it works out because now every time he wants to do something, we're like, yeah, no, you can do that, but you're gonna figure it out and do it your damn self, because now you're a man, and that's what men do. Men do things by themselves because you're independent.
I can't speak. Mm-mm.
He's a good kid. He's good. He's still, he's gonna be graduating from high school this year. So we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do with him after that. And so it'll, but he's been good. Except for the totaling of my car. That was not fun. And that
Mm.
so I didn't actually make that super public knowledge on my Freddy page. I think I did on my personal page kind of,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't say much about it on my Freddy page because I think, I don't know, just it wasn't, so he just got his license like mid October, like just got his fucking license.
Wow.
And he's he was really good driving my car. We'd let him take, because my car was a little bit easier to handle than the giant fucking beast of a Highlander. So it was no problem. He would take my car to like go to work. He would even take my car to go hang out with friends and stuff. No big deal. We told him if he fucked up, then that was going to be it. And
So
November
he took you up
1st,
on your offer.
it wasn't, I don't think it was his fault entirely at all, really. But November 1st, he got T-boned literally less, like about 100 yards away from dropping his friend off at home.
Oh no.
Yeah. Um, he was shaken up. He was, and his friend who suffers from seizures ended up having like a grand mal seizure just because of like the stress and everything. It was a stressful evening. It really was. But, we were like, you know what? We weren't mad. I'm like, you totaled my car. I'm not fucking mad. Like, shit happens, it's like, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to take care of the deductible and things and whatever. So that happened November 1st. And thankfully, my insurance and stuff paid off my other car. So that was good.
Mm-hmm.
But we're literally waiting. Like, the hardest thing was to wait for it to, like, insurance needed to pay. So I needed to wait for that. And then I needed to wait as long as I could for that to show up on my credit report. Otherwise, it looked like I had a fucking $18,000 loan just sitting out there. The fucking credit system here is so fucking stupid. But it was like, it was a little over 2 months of us having only one car, and like, yeah, okay, it's a first world problem, like totally a first world problem, and I acknowledge that, but it also made things difficult in terms of like scheduling, and I couldn't just like run an errand after work. Like it would require me, taking Dee back to work in her car, and then, running whatever errand and making sure I was done in time to go get her after work. And then it was like doing the same thing to go get any kids that had to get, it was just a pain in the ass and just not fun. But we like ugh. So finally I was like, okay, fuck this. I can't do this anymore. My car got paid off. It finally, it was starting to hit my credit. So I was like, all right, I was doing some research, found a car that I really liked. It's the same car as my old one, a Nissan Rogue, but 2 years newer with like pretty fucking loaded. So it's kind of, I'm not mad about it. Like it's a
Oh,
pretty
you got
car.
to upgrade. You got to upgrade.
Mm. It's only 2 years newer, but oh my god, I'm pretty sure it's bigger on the inside. It's got a
Size
sunroof.
queen.
It's got like all sorts of stuff. Like it's really nice. Like I'm not mad about it at all. But while we were there, Dee decided that what the fuck, she's gonna trade in her beast of a Highlander and got herself a cute little Mazda. It's an MX-30, I think. Fun little fucking car. Like it's great. But now all of a sudden my car is the fucking family car because it's bigger than hers. What the fuck? Uh,
Way to
um,
go, Dad. Way to go, Dad.
right? What the hell?
And now you drive the family car, she says.
I'm like, I don't know about that. Like it has leather seats, so no.
Wow.
uh, um, we managed to get an inflatable hot tub for the backyard, which this thing was awesome. This thing is fantastic. Like it's amazing. You'd think I was a little skeptical about the inflatable thing. It's kind of badass, and it's been really nice to be able to go and sit in it. Like if you're sore or whatever. Oh my god, it's been amazing.
Oh, I should have came there. I threw out my back last week.
You should have, but you never fucking come anywhere. But
That's not true. I just said I came there for Thanksgiving. Did not say
that was like
never.
the first time, like
Did not say
twice since.
never.
I think it's
Never.
been like what,
Never
twice since we
implies
bought
that
the
I've
house. I'm
never
just
been
saying.
there. Zero. I have been there.
And then, like, basically, all I've been doing for the last couple months is trying to get things prepped for Wild Wild West Con, which I'm so far fucking behind, and dealing with fan fusion submissions. So that was fun.
You like hurting cats. This seems to be a thing.
Apparently. Yeah.
Oh shoot. But I have missed this. I have missed what's fun is out and about, even out of drag, people are like when is Let's Have a Fifi coming back? And I'm like, oh, because like imposter syndrome, we talked about it. You think, well, I don't think anybody's, listening to that
Right.
our podcast. I don't think that they'll miss it if it just disappeared one day. But in essence, a lot of people have proved me wrong over and over because they keep asking, where is it? And I listen to it like when I'm getting ready in the morning, and I'm like, ooh. Ooh.
I know,
Uh,
and it's always weird when that when people are just randomly like, "Hey, when is the Fifi coming back?" I'm waiting for the Fifi to come back. I'm like, "Oh, you actually like us? That's
Yeah. I know.
awesome."
That's so
If only I could
cute.
get actually booked in this town, but that's fine.
Oh,
Uh,
that's funny. Let me go ahead. I get booked, but that's a story for another day.
I mean, you get booked, which is great. You're getting booked a lot lately, which is awesome. More so than you have in the past, which is amazing.
Yes. Yes. Definitely a
But yes,
blessing.
I know what the butt is in there. Outside
Mhm.
of a select couple of people, you
Uh-huh.
still don't get booked with the other folks.
Uh-huh.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm on
Uh-huh.
the same page. I get it. No, I know what the
Mhm.
butt is. I totally know what the butt is.
But if you're
Uh,
watching or listening to the podcast right now, just know that Freddie and I are available for bookings.
I keep I'm so terrible because, like, you know how Facebook memories, like, things pop up and you're going through your memories and you're like, fuck. Like sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not so great. And the other day I almost made like a super petty vague book post. I didn't because, but I almost did. And it was going to be something to the effect of, remember when you spent all that time supporting, that person or these people when, nobody else is really supporting them? Yeah, they don't either. Like, because because the thing is like there's some things like if they show up in my memories, they show up in their memories too. I'm just like,
I know some people be muting.
Some people might be, yeah, but I'm like, oh, okay.
But speaking of such, if you want to be a drag artist,
so I was trying really hard. I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do for the tip tonight. Like, there's been like we've been gone for so long. I'm like, I don't even fucking know. And between like going through like the submissions for Fan Fusion, prepping for Wild Wild West Con, and like all this other shit that I'm doing, and then all these people sort of coming out of the woodwork for stuff, I'm like, hey, let me do this. And when I say, oh, let me do this, I literally was putting it in at about 7:15 tonight because I changed my mind on what I was going to do. So for my tip this evening, and I figure it could be a conversation with you because I know you're going to have some input, which I'm fine with. So you think you're a drag artist. You've watched some Drag Race or some Dragula, maybe seen some local drag, and now you think you're ready to be a performer. Awesome.
Watch some YouTube tutorials.
Yeah. Because here's a list of some things to kind of keep in mind and kind of remember if you decide that this is something that you really want to do. So, first and foremost, you need to understand that being a performer takes work. And that's listening to the folks that have been doing this a while, and not just doing this a while, but have been doing this a while and is doing something with their drag. Like, there are people that have been doing this forever, but literally their face hasn't changed. They haven't grown with their drag. Nothing's like, they're still doing the same drag that they did 20 years ago, and it's they're hardly relevant at this point. So it's like,
You could at least talk to me before we did this.
Sorry. Look, your makeup has grown, okay? I've seen it. Your foundation used to be this color. so
He's not lying. I wish he was, but
It's like, ask for help with makeup and costumes. And because, these days both are expected to be elevated, and it's possible to elevate both while you're on a budget. Felicia and I both did a like dollar store like makeup challenge a couple years ago, and we managed to pull off pretty decent looks by using just dollar store shit.
Oh, we're not still doing it?
No, maybe you're not. I mean,
maybe I still am.
It's an ongoing thing. But like, that's one of those things that you have to be willing to put in the work to really elevate things, because just going out in a Ross dress or like jeans and a button down isn't really going to cut it these days. Like, not when you have artists that are just starting out like here. You know what I mean? Like there are certain expectations. It's just like in any job, any field, any, whatever, like there's certain expectations that go along with it. This is a big one. You are not entitled to anything. Nothing.
Say that again. Say that
you are not entitled to anything. Just because you suddenly decided to be a performer doesn't mean that you are entitled to bookings, nor are you entitled to anyone's time. People can and will help, but you don't get to demand their time. Many folks have been burned by helping people, so some may be a little gun shy. It doesn't make them terrible people. It just means that they're afraid that you're gonna waste their time after they sit there and they're gonna be talking to you and trying to help you out, and then you do absolutely nothing, or you go, or they go and talk to somebody else who tells them the same shit, and then they do it, even though they didn't listen to you the first time. That wastes my time. That wastes any effort that I put into it. And then So it's like, no, you're not entitled to anything.
And
That
then all of a
that's
sudden,
that.
they're the drag parent and you're not.
Mm, funny how that works, right?
Sounds
There's that.
personal.
Mm. Be prepared for rejection. Your drag may not be everyone's cup of tea, and it may not be right for every show. That's just a
Same,
fact. Like,
same.
you may do like messy monster drag, which maybe Felicia loves, but I don't care for. And if I don't personally care for it, depending on the kind of show that I'm booking, I probably won't book a messy monster drag type of number.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing personal. It's just not right for this venue or this show that I'm booking for. That's all.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, but you need to be prepared to hear that because it's just what it is. Don't surround yourself with yes people. Learn how to take critiques and criticism. Not everything you do is amazing. Like, this
But
is a
it is
thing, y'all.
amazing. It is amazing. All of the
I
stuff I do
like
is amazing.
literally people will I have seen someone do something and it's not good. The costumes aren't good, the makeup isn't good. They didn't know their lyrics.
I
Like,
think we've been
it
in the
wasn't.
same place sometimes and seen people and
It's
their friends
right.
come
Like,
all up.
it's just not good. And everybody's like, "Oh my god, yes, queen, yes." That was amazing. No, it was not amazing. It really wasn't. In fact, you probably should have rethought that before you actually put it on stage. And that's not shade. It's a thing. Like,
This list
y-
sounds like it's about me.
mm. And going into that, you need to learn to lose with grace. Doing drag often comes with competition, and how you lose says far more about how you win. I can't tell you how many fucking times I have seen somebody throw a temper tantrum because they didn't win whatever competition they were they were in. And the thing
Ooh.
is that, like, if I'm at the competition, I can tell you exactly why you didn't win. I can, compared to the other people, I can tell you exactly why you didn't fucking win. Maybe your evening wear was not fitted. Maybe it was a mess. Maybe it was sloppy. Maybe your modeling was bad. Maybe your talent number really fell short compared to everybody else's. Maybe your backup dancers really fucked up. There are a plethora of reasons why you didn't win. And I've only ever seen like maybe two like legitimately rigged competitions. Like, and I use the term competition loosely. Like, I think I've seen like two that were legitimately like, okay, this is sketchy as fuck. Like, you already knew who you wanted to win, and nothing anybody said was going to change that. But otherwise, no, the competition isn't rigged, and your friends telling you that you were robbed and that it was rigged. Like, no. They're not. That's not true. Like, learn to lose with grace. That's because if I
Um,
see you pitching a fit backstage or after, no, it's not a
just
good look.
also realize that sometimes your competitors could be your next time be your judges. Um,
Hmm.
so I haven't competed in a pageant in God knows how long, but I know that people, I've been in pageants with people and then I know their behavior afterward. So that's not going to stop me from judging you the way I judge everybody else, but I know that I'm going to prepare myself for the way you're going to act afterward.
Right.
I'm not going to write less critiques, but I'm going to prepare myself to be
Because then you'll have that one post on Facebook that's directed at you, whatever, blah blah blah. The
and I
judges were
have.
biased. Right. It's like,
Oh, you
whatever.
signed your name so I could find you. Okay, yeah,
Right.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Hmm. Right.
I even gave you like my screen name so you
Right.
could send me a message because I thought we were adults. But
And this is another thing that this is a trend that I've seen now come up a few times all over the place, and that is being great at 30-second like heavily edited TikTok videos does not mean you will be a great performer on stage.
again, you could have talked to me before you wrote this list.
It's the like people don't like it when, you know, things are actually said out loud. And I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Like, I wish I could be great at the 30-second TikTok videos, but I'm not that great at that. I know I'm better on stage than I am at the TikTok. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing on TikTok. No fucking clue. But being able to perform for about 30 seconds when you're cropped like here is very different than, you know, being on stage in front of an audience and having to take up all that space. And that doesn't mean that you can't be good at both. It just means that just because you're good at one doesn't mean that you're going to be good at the other. And that's just something that you need to acknowledge within yourself.
Well, within that, you can follow both of us on TikTok. Our screen names are on the screen. You're welcome.
um, and kind of going along with that, being great at cosplay does not mean you will be a great performer on stage. Because we've seen it. All these people that are not just good at like cosplay, but maybe they can paint really well. Maybe they have really cool costumes. Like, we all know at least one performer that is either a fantastic cosplayer, or they paint really well, or they have these amazing costumes, and then they get on stage and it all falls flat. They have no stage presence.
Also, don't break character. If you've put all this effort into the cosplay and you're bringing it to the stage, don't break character. Like, that is the I don't know whether to call it weird or like unforgiving thing that, like, you're like, because I'm still a fan of drag. If you see me in the audience, know I'm coming to see the show. I may be
Right.
there to support you, but I am, as like a fan first, thinking like, okay, so why did you just break character? Don't say hi to me. Like, be your character. Like, we can talk after the show. Like, be your character. Because that's the part that is like, you're like, oh, you came out as Super Mario. I don't know anybody that came out as Super Mario recently, so don't go looking through the Facebook books. But um, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, I see you, and then you're not, and you forget
Right.
maybe you had a monologue, and like, work on that. Work on that. That's
Let's see. All drag is valid, but not all drag is entertaining. That kind of goes back to the other thing. You do you, but it doesn't mean that everybody has to like it. It doesn't mean that it's entertaining. Like,
And for so long, your friends, your family will say, "This is great. This is great. This is great," and then one day they're not going to come to the show, and then the people that are looking to be entertained will tell you how they really feel,
right. So they're
based on my experience.
who you choose. Well, who you choose to associate with will affect your reputation and bookability. Associating with problematic people will make folks less likely to want to book you in shows. Same goes for stirring the pot and starting drama online, all that good shit. Don't do it. Like, if you know that someone is problematic, maybe don't complain about how, not working with this person is going to get you less money. It doesn't look good.
Mm.
Like, it doesn't look good. And that's kind of goes with the venue too. Like, if you have a venue that is constantly being an open space for problematic people, maybe reevaluate what you're doing at that venue. Just saying. Just saying. And I think that, okay, this is an important one, and this one sounds bad, but look, it's a thing. I think the
Ooh,
most
I don't
important
like
thing to
that
know
preface. Oh my god.
is not everyone is a performer. Not everyone is a performer. That's just truth. That's just reality.
But what if
Watching a
they
lot of
want to
Drag
be?
Race does not mean you're a performer. You may love drag, you may love watching drag, you may love being in the audience, you may love all of that, but it doesn't mean that you are a performer. I watch a lot of Bones. It doesn't mean I'm a forensic anthropologist. Like, that's not that's not how that
But you,
works.
but you could be.
Well, obviously, if I just go get a lab coat, I could be anything I want to.
There you go. There you go.
Doesn't mean
There
I'd
you
be
go.
any good at it. And it's okay to like admit that, hey, I tried this and I'm not great. It's okay to admit that you're not a performer. We love the people that support us, and we love the groupies, and we love the folks that, go to the shows and support the shows. Not not everybody has to be in the show. If everybody's in the show, then there's nobody watching the show. And
Mhm.
like, it's just not everybody's a performer. And that is absolutely okay. It's absolutely okay.
Um, mm, but also, if you're not that great, um, or if there's room for improvement, let's start with that. I like that better. If there's room for improvement, start with what what ideas are given to you. Because I always hear people like, "Well, I'm not gonna listen to that bitch," and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Yeah, you need to at least try it once, and then see what you can take from it." Because not every idea that has been given to me has been a great one or something that I'll write home about, but at least something of it comes out like, oh, maybe I should do this instead of this. I mean,
I mean, and granted, sometimes consider the source. Like, I remember one time a person
mhm,
who was not a drag performer, not a makeup artist, not an anything, was like, "Oh, you should do this because if you do this, then it'll look this way." Blah 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 with your makeup. Blah, blah. And I'm like, "The hell are you even talking about?" Like, it was like, "No, I'm good, thanks."
mhm,
But again, that goes back to like listening to advice, listening to suggestions, and it's not a bad thing. Like, I suggest things to people all the time. I'm like, "Hey, have you considered this?" Or if someone asks me, "Hey, what did you think of this?" I'll actually tell them and not be like, "Oh my god, that was amazing." Like,
mhm,
if it was really good, I'll absolutely tell them it was fucking amazing. But if it was
mhm,
like really amazing, but maybe something in the costume could have been done better, I'm like, I will totally say that because like I'm my own worst critic. Like, I know I can look at shit and be like, "Fuck, damn it, I could have done that much better." But like,
mm, yes. Oh, okay. I agree with this. Um,
I mean, not just because she's a parent, but
yes.
despecializes
Uh-huh.
in kids. Like, she's got fucking degrees and shit. Like, that don't like. It's always like,
For those on the podcast, that's how I feel when people have kid advice. Um, I often feel this way because sometimes people give like unsolicited. Some people have been really good, like, "Oh, do you want my advice?" Because like I don't want to be like in your lane. But
right.
that's nice. But when people just come out of the woodwork and they're like, "Well, what you should be doing is like this, this, and this," and I'm like, "What you should be doing is minding your own damn business." Mm,
Like, I've gotten like with a lot of things. Like, if someone says something like either online or whatever, and I see this with other people too. But I've tried to get into the habit of being like, do you want suggestions or are you just ranting? Because if
mhm.
you're just ranting, that's cool. But if you want suggestions, I can find some. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's like Google.
right. There is that. There is that. We do
Ah.
have some current events to look at. Some of them are.
Oh boy, this is for real?
Yep. The state of the world is not fun right now. There is very little that is positive that is happening right now.
So under WTF, there's another story. I'm gonna read this one, but I will you look up? There was a woman that was like running around naked or something.
Do you want to look that up and I'll do this one?
Yeah,
All right,
I'll look it
so
up.
a Pennsylvania man was arrested after a video of him ranting about Biden and declaring himself the new president under martial law, with his father's decapitated head in the background, was online for several hours. It had more than 5,000 views when it was finally removed from YouTube. Like, dude literally had a video up where he was ranting about shit with his dad's fucking head in the background, just hanging out
How did you
after he
get that?
decapitated his father. He decapitated his father. And then just kind of left the head
Oh,
hanging around. And then went on a fucking rant and declared himself the fucking president. And it took hours for anybody to be like, "Oh, we should probably take this down." But, God forbid somebody posts something with like, trans content, because that'll get taken down in 10 minutes.
oh no, because trans people are fairy tale people.
Okay.
don't really exist according to cis white or gay politicians. You know what happened while we were gone? George Santos got expelled or whatever.
I know. He's probably trying to get gigs.
And now he's
I
gayer
know. I
than
was like, God damn
ever.
it.
I was like, oh, now he's getting more gigs? Anyway, so this is fun. Celia Barrett, who is 35, was arrested in St. Petersburg, Florida, after
Of
allegedly
course.
barging into a gas station while naked and drunk. Been there, girl. According to the New York Post, the woman is also accused of threatening to kill the store staff with a veggie peeler. And then she, in turn, turned around and masturbated in front of the police.
Thank you,
Mhm,
Florida, for always keeping us well stocked with weird, fucked up news stories.
mhm. It's
Oh,
not
Lord.
clear if she masturbated with the veggie peeler because I think that's kind of
Ouch.
dangerous.
Please don't.
But
Please don't do that. Do not masturbate with veggie peelers, kids. That is
but I
not a
was
thing.
I was telling someone earlier, I was like, in order for like a woman to be masturbating in public, it like took some effort. Like you fully
Right.
went there.
Like you have
You
to like
totally went there.
right. Right.
Like what
Yeah.
was she doing? Like
Mm.
oh my god.
So in politics.
Oh,
mm,
have we missed this? Has anybody been following?
It's hard. There is so much shit going on and so much like smoke and mirrors with all this other shit happening.
I think we're at
Um
285 anti-LGBT slash strictly trans bills
yeah, it's a
floating
fucking mess
around
out there.
nationwide. Mhm.
Politics is not this country's shining moment. Currently, Biden has fallen behind Trump in 7 of the swing state polls, including
Including
Arizona,
ours.
Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. The fact that Trump is even still allowed to be considered for the ballot is blowing my fucking mind.
There are
Um,
some states that have taken him off the ballot.
Colorado and Maine said that Trump is not
Mhm.
allowed to be on the ballot. Although one
I
of
thought it
those
was
is
3.
paused while they wait for
I thought
court
it was
ruling.
3 of them.
Um, I
Mm.
and of course his lawyers keep delaying everything and keep asking for extensions and stuff because they're going to draw that shit out as long as fucking possible to try and make sure that he is back on the ballot. And I at
But I
this
heard
point
that there's some, like, rumbles on the Republican side that are like, "We do not need this again."
there
Now,
are some
are they gonna stand up for this, or are they gonna
uh,
just let it happen again?
it's I don't even fucking know at this point. And right now Biden is like on my shit list as well with all the shit that's been going on. He didn't do anything to stop Roe v. Wade from being overturned. He is hasn't done a goddamn thing with all the anti-trans and anti-LGBTQ bills and stuff that have been going on all over the place. Um
Mhm.
and it's like
Here's
it's just
where okay, so not to compare presidents, but I felt like once Obama set foot, there was obviously so much to prove, but I felt like they were like, "Oh, he's a Democratic president," and historically, Democratic presidents are like how Joe is performing, very passive or whatever you want to call
mm,
it. But I expected Joe to be like Obama because he had experienced the adversity that
I
oh,
think that's what everybody expected, that since Biden had been Obama's VP, that he knew how things needed to be done.
like
And it's been
aggressive, and I'm not feeling that aggressive push toward yes we need to do this, or even if it's like I encourage you to go out and vote. I felt like Obama like took it like 10x and said I encourage you to go out and vote. You know, like it was like living so loud that you were like, okay, Mr. President, I'll do that.
It's been so disappointing, and I'm not just disappointed in Biden. I'm disappointed in in Harris too, because I haven't heard a goddamn thing from her at all. Nothing.
Mhm.
Nothing. Crickets. Complete fucking crickets from the White House. And it's
um,
ugh.
yeah. Even Pride Month, I felt like Obama, even if he was doing like a celebration, I felt like it was so loud. I just, I am very, I feel like lackluster from this presidency
Mhm.
and the administration,
Which
and
is
we have
so fucking
things going on
disappointing.
worldwide that um, need more than just like I'm going to write a little press release and then tell troops to
Right.
go to a place. We
Well, and speaking of worldwide and troops going to a place, Biden is actually being sued by Palestinians, both here and in Palestine, for being complicit in genocide. Biden, Blinken, and Austin, sounds like a really bad children's book, are technically liable under U.S. law for not upholding their obligation to prevent genocide in Gaza. Section 1091 of Title 18 of the United States Code prohibits genocide whether committed in time of peace or time of war. Genocide is defined in 1091 and includes violent attacks with a specific intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. And I have the what's happening in that part of the world right now is a very touchy subject
Mhm.
for a lot of people. I have friends who are Israeli and who are in fact still there. It's just it's all a fucking mess, and none of it should have even been a thing. But um, people are, because we have so much fucking power. Um, people are trying to hold Biden and the administration accountable for their lack of anything with all the shit that's been going on.
Mhm.
Just you know,
Is there still stuff going on with I haven't heard much in the news, and maybe that's my attention span, but of the Ukraine?
there's still
Were we
stuff happening in the Ukraine, but right now all the other stuff is bigger. It's all, like I said, there is very little that is happening right now that is like super positive. The whole fucking world is a fucking mess at this point. Again,
mm, mm.
yeah.
Um Trump, 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 Trump. And I hope that this season does not turn into Agent Orange all over again like we were the last time. Um Trump continues to say that despite numerous lawsuits, numerous is very generous in comparison. Uh, being former president should grant him immunity from literally everything. And listening to him talk, it's like listening to a baby trying to get out of a wet diaper. But he truly believes what he is saying.
Yeah,
Um,
no, he does 100%. He feels that he should absolutely just, he could do whatever the fuck he wants and it shouldn't matter because he was a former president.
and his lawyers keep telling him like you should stop speaking this way, and he is not listening to their advice. And if I was on that legal team, I would be like,
He's never listened though. He's like, he's always gone off script. Like, there are times, remember, like there like when he'd do like press conferences and shit, you would see his people in the background going, because he just goes off script and starts rambling about shit. It's like, oh my god, dude, shut up.
again, we're back
Ugh.
here. Um, if anything, if you've watched the show for the last decade or so, we encourage you to go and vote, 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 vote. Um, oh my god, I was so disappointed in myself. I missed the October uh, election, October, November,
Mm,
October mail in for November.
we
Um,
did too. I think there was. there was something going on. I don't remember what it was, but there was something that was happening, and all of a sudden we went, "Fuck!" Like we had the ballots right there, and
Yeah, and then
completely fucking
election
spaced it.
day, like 8 o'clock, I was
Right.
like, "Why is this still sitting on my desk?"
Right.
Oops. So, if anybody wants to verify any records in the future, I'm calling myself out, so
Right.
there you have it.
Oops.
Um, the gays began.
Oh my
Um
god. Ugh.
in a flashback to pre-Stonewall riot days, the cops, fire department, and liquor board raided several Seattle gay bars over the weekend. Mm, mm. Um, what they found were people wearing jock straps and bartenders' exposed nipple, both citable offenses if you sell liquor or alcohol. Um, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
But
I
apparently
know the
there are
jock strap thing might
places.
be.
Well, there
Because
are,
it has to
yes
cover
and
the
no. I mean, it's yes, but apparently there are parks in Seattle where people will literally play like kickball in a jockstrap with no problem.
why are we here?
Hmm.
What you knew about this and we're still here?
Apparently,
Is this the real name of this? That sounds very cartoonish. The jet
I know
enforcement team.
it's a thing
That in fact sounds gay. The jet enforcement team that led the raid was created to deal with the
with
nuisance.
nuisance businesses and criminal activity.
How is
But
that nuisance act?
right, and that's exactly the thing is that like the Cuff and the Eagle, both very well known bars in Seattle, they've never been cited for anything either alcohol or violence related offenses. Like that's not never been a thing. So the raids were unfounded. Of course, they don't like them calling them raids. They don't call them raids.
What are
Well,
they?
what the fuck do you call them? Like wandering there at fucking midnight and shit. Like that's it's a fucking raid. Call it what it is. You can't sugarcoat that shit. It's a fucking raid. You
Oh
raided the
boy.
bar.
Mm,
Like you raided the bar.
mm.
Just get over it.
Is this one of
Like
those things where they only found like a pixie stick and they're like, "See, I told you they were doing stuff in here."
right. It was the exposed nipple on the bartender that was that pushed him over the edge.
But I think the jockstrap thing, I think you are supposed to have your butthole
It de-
covered.
it it depends on the blue laws in each state. Each state is different.
Oh.
Like
Hi,
especially since
Laura.
there like I said, there are places in Seattle apparently where you could go play like they play kickball in jockstraps out in public. So
But
I
that's
don't
not
know.
food. That's not food,
I don't know.
but it
I
is
don't
health
know.
and safety. So, um,
So
Eddie
Eddie
asks,
asks, "What do y'all think about people not voting this year at all?" It,
so statistically, a lot of people, like, I think there's some huge number, like, I think it's like 75% of the general population does not vote, unless it is a presidential election. So I was disappointed in myself because I am on here blowing my horn and saying like you need to do this, you need to do this, and it was kind of like, oh crap, like now, like, am I helping the cause at all, or am I hindering what could be progress? Because now, did somebody that should not be um in office make it? Did somebody that doesn't support our community as a whole um make it? Did
it's I know. I always feel very guilty, and mind you, I haven't missed an election in a long time. This last one was the first one I've missed in I don't know
You know
how
what it
long.
is? It's because we didn't have a
Um,
Fefe.
right? That's why. That's why we remind ourselves to vote. Fuck. Um, I I am I am not okay with people saying like, "Oh, I don't do politics," or you know,
You know what I
"I
heard
don't vote
recently?
because it doesn't matter," or you know what I mean? Like, I don't
I
agree with
even
that at
heard
all.
that somebody say, "I don't put politics in my drag."
drag by design is like political. Oh my god. I oh my god. That doesn't that tells me they know nothing about drag at all. Nothing.
It was very hard for
But
me to just keep on keeping.
like I don't even
Mhm.
so when it comes down to the presidential election this year, I don't
I'm
even know.
scared.
I
Anybody
don't
else
even
scared?
know because well yeah, cuz it's like I sure as fuck don't want to vote for Trump. Sure as
Mhm.
fuck don't want to vote for Trump. I sure as fuck don't want to vote for any fucking Republican. They've already proven that they can't be trusted. They've already proven that they have nobody's rights in mind but their own, and they happen to be rich white men. Like that's it. But
Also, y'all,
I
Republicans
also
been working on this since, like, 22.
oh they've been working on this since 2020. Like there's
Mhm.
been, but honestly, I don't know that I want Biden again for another term because
So what's the
they've done
solution,
exactly
though?
jack shit. Biden and Harris have done nothing. Harris was in a position to be outspoken about things, to have a fucking platform, and I don't know what the fuck she's done.
I
Nothing.
So, weird thing is, and I keep bringing up the Obama administration. They were and I don't know if it's because I was so enamored and obsessed with them that I paid attention, but everything. uh, Michelle was doing an exercise. I remember the Bushes doing something. I remember the first lady doing something, but nothing as loud as Michelle Obama getting Beyonce to dance for her, uh, getting other celebrities to like eat vegetables. I mean, like out loud. Like I need out loud. I think that's the part that's missing. Like she may be doing something, but she's not doing it out loud. And you don't find out until like months later. You're like, oh, she did this initiative. And you're
And
like,
like
why was it so
and
quiet?
like Jill Biden is in a fantastic position to be very outspoken about the
A lot
whole
of
trying to
things.
ban books and shit. I don't hear anything
As
from
an
her.
educator, as a doctor.
Like I'm as a whole, I am so incredibly disappointed in everything
Why do
that's
you
happening
think
in
why do
Washington.
you think they're so quiet?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they thought that they could like
Does that mean they trying
win
to fly under the
on like
radar?
I I don't know. I don't know if like they figured they could win because of like Biden being connected to Obama and then they could just sort of ride on that. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
eventually coattails give you whiplash, so you gotta have stand on your own 2
Right.
feet.
But like I remember like Obama being very outspoken about certain things, being like, this is not okay. I'm not okay with
He
this.
still is.
Right. But there's been of all the things that the president could be speaking up about, the things that he could be, making it very vocal that he's not okay with, like overturning Roe v. Wade, like the lack of healthcare for AFAB individuals, the like all this shit that he and Kamala Harris could be talking about. I hear nothing.
Mhm.
Nothing. There's nothing that ever pops up in the news about them, being vocal about this. There's nothing about, oh, I'm gonna fight this, I'm gonna do something, or, I'm not okay with these states trying to, take away LGBTQ and trans rights. Like nothing, not a goddamn thing. Even
Mhm.
like even with this war in Gaza, like there's been a lot of fucking silence. A lot of
I
fucking
will say
silence.
that
And it's.
take care of yourselves when watching the footage from Gaza.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's fucking. It's awful. And it's like,
Mhm.
I wouldn't even recommend necessarily watching the footage. Like, if you need to. Like, if you read the articles, read the articles.
I
Watching the
follow a
footage
lot of
is
news
a
people on
lot.
the on the Instagrams, and sometimes I'll be scrolling, and then I'm like, "Oh, what's this?" And then, too late.
It's
I'm in
all of
it.
this shit is it's fucking terrible. And that's
Mhm.
why it's like, well, what do you know, when it comes to not voting is the worst of the evils. You have to you have to you have to say something. You can't just stay quiet.
Mhm.
And I know that the choices right now are shit. They're shit. And unless some amazing individual decides to run as an independent that could potentially draw votes from everybody, or draw the votes that would have gone to like Biden for people that don't want to vote for Trump, like unless someone decides to come out of the woodwork and run as an independent, it's
We stuck.
it's it's shitty. It's our
Mhm.
choices are not choices. And which is another reason why the two-party system just needs to go the fuck away. Like it just
Mhm.
needs to go away because it's obviously broken.
I just let's see. Eddie Omega says, I just hate how Biden says it's the fate of the country in our hands. No, it isn't, Joe. It's sounding like a threat more and more. Yes, but uh, passive aggressive
Like
Joe needs to get.
it's like, then do something that makes me want to enthusiastically vote for you.
Hmm.
Like there's if you don't, then like if there's literally no other choice, like if we have some god awful Republican or fucking Trump on the Republican side, or and like some libertarian who is no better than a Republican, because a lot of them are no better than a fucking Republican, and like as you know, running either as an independent or whatever, and then we have Biden. Like I have to vote for somebody. I can't not vote,
Scary thought. Scary thoughts.
but it doesn't leave me with much. And if I have to vote for the lesser of things, okay, fine, but I'm tired of voting for the lesser of things. I would like to have a candidate that that I want to enthusiastically vote for, and not just because I don't have any other fucking choice. And right now, we've been left with no other fucking choice. In
Right.
2020, it was literally we had to make sure that Trump did not win again. We like
And I think that's where
there
we
was
are again.
no other there literally there was no other choice for us. We had to make
I
sure that Trump did not win again.
I think that's where we're gonna be again. But it would be nice to be like, "Dear Mr. President, please get your balls and let's go." 'Cause,
I hate it here.
like, damn.
uh,
I feel like a lip sync battle is better than watching all of this. So,
seriously.
like, let's get it together. But to answer your question, Eddie, I feel disappointed when people don't vote, and I hate when people say that they don't get involved in politics, and I hate when they say that their drag does not contain political references, or that they don't
They
involve
don't bring
politics
politics
in
into their
their
drag.
drag.
Like, then why are you even doing drag?
Because originally drag was a protest anyway, so what are
It's
we doing
still
here?
literally doing any sort of drag still is political in nature. It just is, especially now. Like it just
Especially, I can't
is.
read a book to a kid in drag, so
Right. Like literally everything that we do is political, whether we want it to be or not. Like it's just the way it is. So if you can't acknowledge that, then that's going to go back up there with maybe you shouldn't be doing drag.
I will say in our
Just
time off, I have not been mentioned in any hate articles.
oh, good for you. That's good.
Yeah, it's a nice change of pace for me.
I mean, speaking of hate articles, what do you have coming up for gigs? What do we got going on?
um, hopefully everybody will join us back next week on Wednesday. Um, and hopefully the intro that it looks like it finished rendering in the middle of when we were talking.
Oh,
Um,
that's good.
yeah, I need to fix. I noticed something already that I need to fix, but
Did you spell my name wrong?
me, you know
I'm just
better than that.
asking.
Uh,
I don't know your life.
I'm gonna put IE just because you said that. Um, no,
Fair.
it'll take too long for it to render. I can't do that. Uh, I will tell you over the break, I've learned that I'm not good at being bad. Upcoming. I am not. Y'all that are shady,
No.
salty people, I will let y'all have it because I,
She
I'm
tried. It didn't work very well.
literally did not work for me at all.
No.
If if you believe in a higher power, that person came after me and said, "No, Felicia, that is
And
not your
if by a
strongest
higher
suit."
power you mean me, yes, you're right. I did.
Mhm. Yes, and said, "That is not your strongest suit. Maybe
Like,
you should try
no, we're not
something
gonna do.
else."
No, we're not gonna do this. But thank you so much for trying. No, no.
The universe has told me,
Mm-mm-mm.
"You are Glinda, and leave the wicked witches alone." But speaking of good people, surround yourself with good people on February 9th. Drag Story Hour is having a birthday fundraiser. Support literacy, imagination, and diversity. Um, you have to buy tickets to find out the location, the time, and all that jazz.
But
So,
buy tickets and come. There's gonna be like cocktails. There'll be some munchies. There'll be some stuff. Drag show raffles. We got some great raffle baskets.
and
So
before the
buy
haters
your
start coming
tickets.
after us, it is an 18 and over event, and you
Mm-hmm.
must be 21 and over to drink alcoholic beverages if they may be served.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We'll
So,
put that
but buy
disclosure
tickets and
there.
support a great organization. Tickets will not be available at the door, I don't believe, because you can't find out where it is unless you buy a ticket. So there's that.
And don't ask me where it
Um,
is.
no, we're not going to tell you because we don't trust any of you people. Um, and then March 1st is the good, the bad, and the naughty happening at Wow Wow West Con.
Was that your internal
Which
scream?
No, I'm fine.
Oh,
Which
I know that
I'm
producer sound
producing and
somewhere.
Felicia is actually a part of. So I think the folks at the con are gonna love Felicia as long as she gets her
I need to
music in
find out
from
where
me by
my suit
tomorrow.
is at.
Um, it's fine. You have time to do that. I don't care you can find your suit the day before. I don't give a fuck. I just need your music by tomorrow. Um,
Get out. Oh my
take as
God.
long as you want on your costume. I don't care.
Wow. The support in this town. Wow.
um, but that should be fun. I'm excited. The drag performers and the burlesque performers that I have booked for that show are going to be amazing, and I can't wait to show them off to all the steampunk folks. So that'll be super fun.
Oh, I wrote something on my list of while we were gone, but I wanted to save it for last.
Mm.
So, and this just happened recently. This last week?
Mm.
Um, the community lost a, I want to say like can we call her like a icon, a staple, a very good person.
Mm-hmm.
Desiree de Mornay passed away. Um, and her celebration of life will be on February 17th at noon at Fabric in Tempe. Tempe. If not that I want to like make you go to her page, but it is pinned to the top of her Facebook
It
page.
is,
So,
and I think it'll
um,
be streamed for folks that can't be there in person.
correct. I have to work that day, but I may like step away so I can see some of it. Um, but yeah, I will say that that has been part of my aura, my being. this past week, because it's been not strange. I don't deal with death very well. Um, and I'm not sure that anybody does, but I particularly do not deal with immortality, right? Mortality,
Mortality.
immortality, very
Mortality.
well. I don't do well, especially like a couple years ago. Well, now it's been almost 10 years. My both my parents had cancer, and so like that. I mean, my well, your brain goes all the way to the end. They're still living, thank you. But like your brain goes all these places, including we were talking about like what does our legacy look like? Like what does
Right.
my legacy look like? What does like and weirdly enough, I had this like thought like what do I want my family to feel when I leave? Not that I can control that, but what is the lasting impression that I want? I don't, not that I don't care about everybody else. It's just that like family and friends that are closest to me, what do I want them to feel when I leave? Um, that was and to see the outcry of what was going on, and even when we thought there was a chance that and she was recovering, um, there were still people like going to her page and posting stuff. So like be kind to people. I know that even before this, we were not getting along as a community, and there was a lot going on. But I felt like somehow we all just kind of got silent and started wondering. I think that a lot of us are wondering the same thing. Like,
Probably.
what
This
is our
is
legacy, and
this is
what are
the
we doing?
this is the second loss that I've experienced like in my sort of direct bubble this month.
Hmm.
The first one happened uh, shortly after the new year and was completely unexpected.
Hmm.
Completely unexpected. And that loss hit a lot of folks in like the US of A MI and US of A MI Classic. A lot of us that competed, like we this was a loss that affected many of us. And to have another one, so like so it's like
And
it
they're
sounds
both
cheesy, but
very. I almost want to. They're not in the same circle, but I almost felt like they're held at the same high regard
I think that yeah, I think that's a fair statement.
because they
But it's like
both
that's
had
why it's like it always sounds
outcry.
cheesy when when people are like oh tomorrow isn't promised and whatever, but it's not. And
Mhm,
like I don't think we tell people enough that we give a shit,
mhm.
you know. So
I mean,
it
I
is what it
I
is.
wrote that on my list earlier, but then I purposely was like, "I will wait
Right.
because I will
Yeah.
do what I'm doing right now. It's okay." But,
uh,
be kind to those, and even God, I sometimes despise some of our community is because we implode. We go after
mm,
each other. We go neck and neck. But I guess that's what family's about. But um um but it it's just think about that. When you start to argue with somebody or think about all the stuff you leave online. Cuz weirdly enough, I went back and looked at some of the stuff I post online. Like is that stuff that I want to be remembered by? I mean, most of it is. But like and people bringing out videos of videos of stuff, like I can't tell you how many like minutes or hours that I've watched of her performances now.
right.
And why didn't I do that while she was alive? So anyhow, as we go into the season, I think that our legacy, the part of our legacy is this, our show, will forever live on. And I've said some dumb things, but they will forever live
Well, it's a
on.
good
And
thing I've never said anything dumb on this show.
oh, with that being said, thank you for joining our conversation. I'm glad we're back. I'm gonna have to figure out if I'm too loud because I heard the baby wake up when I was.
No, the baby probably woke up because of that.
No, she's probably used to the beeping by now. But I'm not usually in here when they're
great.
asleep.
We're gonna have to move to like let's have a Fefe ASMR version so that Felicia doesn't wake the baby.
Welcome to Let's Have a Fefe. I already do that.
Finger flutters. Yeah, we can't wake the baby. So we're moving to the ASMR format next week. Thank you so much for joining us. And you have to do the nail thing too, and the clickety nails. You have to
No, I have too many gems on there.
You have to get something so that you can
click
your
I love watching makeup tutorials because they go like this.
I hate that shit so much. I hate ASMR. We'll talk about that next week. I hate ASMR. There's like 2 people that I can handle listening to their ASMR. The rest of them, I'm like, oh my god, shut up! I don't like your voice.
You need to point me in their direction so that I can.
Oh, I will. I can totally. I they're both fantastic. I love them both. But yeah, and it's weird because I
can learn to do it, and then we can earn money for our YouTube channel.
Oh, that'd be great. I can just get really in like close and
talk. Go away.
No, okay, fine. Wow.
It's like right in my ear. Anyway, thank you for watching, and thanks to those that watch on the replay and those that listen.
Can you hear it if I brush it? I brush the brush. No. Okay.
Oh my god, he's still trying. Let me turn this off. We will see you next week for our Wednesday night conversation.
For next week.
Oh my god, where's the thing so I can turn this off? Good night.